vrea, doamnă, ce ia să pună mâna
De
pe
ce?
ea ta?
Tu de câte ori ai pus mâna pe mine?
Nu mă trage, fii atent.
Du-te, mă,
Ioi.
de încearcă, îți dau o palmă de rupe. Tu de ce pui mâna de 100 de ori pe mine? De ce?
Protagoniștii bătăii sunt o profesoară și un polițist, iar scena este școala din St. Paul din județ.
Anti-Afro-Bengalis, okay, the moral of that clip that you saw. Some of you may have already seen this clip. It's been around for a while. Some people can dish it out, but they're unable to take it. And let's make it clear, although you may have been brought up in a certain way, such as don't hit women, which I am positive the vast majority of men in our community were brought up not to hit women. If a woman strikes you first, I will put money on it that the majority of men are going to respond physically. That's my prediction. So what you do not strike a man. And you saw the reaction. She acted as though if she had been done wrong. She started the whole thing. I'm not advocating for violence. I'm just saying, if you dish it out, be prepared to take every single bit of it that you doled out. Unfortunately, we have a situation here that has to be addressed. A person who continuously dishes out all kinds of garbage and just cannot stand the fact that the garbage is returned to her feet. How dare you return this garbage to me that I am dishing out to you? I don't want it back. That's not the way life is. Now, what am I referring to? Yes, you see the name on the screen, but I'm not going to tell you much more. I'm going to let you hear a few clips of this individual, and I definitely have some things that need to be straightened out. This has gone far beyond what is even in the realm of a possibility or reality that should be existing. Stay tuned, and I will return.
Who the fuck are you talking to? Y'all just sit up there and placate that motherfucker. Block him from your goddamn channel. I can't do this, motherfucker. I don't fuck with smoke. I bring the heat. Smoke dissipates. Heat only gets more intense. I'm only gonna loosen for a better motherfucking bite. That old girl had a nerve to call me ghetto and tacky and this, that, and the third. I'm right here. She couldn't talk to me, but you can talk about me and then block me so I can't respond back. Bitch, fuck out of here. You still engaging these motherfuckers? Al, fuck you. You can't touch my motherfucking shadow. Again, you are a smug jackass. She has called us louse, Jezebels, all kinds of shit. We have to be evenly credentialed for you to evaluate me. This man doesn't super chat any of y'all motherfuckers. He ain't talking about a goddamn thing. And y'all placate this motherfucker. Oh, everybody on this panel, I believe, has advanced degrees. And as someone who's in the top 2% of intellectuals, because I have a Ph.D., which is over an EDD, or a doctorate, because a Juris Doctorate doesn't mean you're a doctor. With just a BA, again, you can't become a BA without me. I teach BAs and BSs all day long, whether that's Bachelor of Arts or your black ass or bullshit or Bachelors of Science. I teach it all. So for him to try to come at my credentials, that offends the God in me. And every time you come there, I'm going to fucking flex on your damn ass. And I'm going to put your motherfucking soul to rest. As I said on the partners, I am so fucking black. I'm just as black as the piece you get before you close your eyes for the last goddamn time.
As I was saying, I received my BA from SMU and my PhD from MIT.
Well, Trey impressed me. I have you know that I bought my BLT from Mickey D's. Get on my J&B from the AMP, and once got VD and DC.
So much for a degree. Not everybody cares. That's the moral of that story. You wouldn't have to demand people respect you. I have never, ever said, you better respect me. This is what I have. You had better. No, it's the way you're moving. The way you're moving is how people are responding to you. I want to start out about the comment that was made about Al and super chats. He doesn't pay you MF or super chats. And I will tell you what Al does do, though. He does pay my mortgage. Listen, people. Do you see what I'm trying to say? The truth is not good enough. There has to be some grand, outrageous story behind nothing. And obviously, Al doesn't pay my mortgage, but this is what they want to hear, something like this. I'm going to come on here and tell you the plain, simple truth about how this got started. But they want a mortgage story. They want something, I don't know, something so out of this world. The truth will not suffice. How did this all get started? First off, what someone does with their money is their business. If Al doesn't want to super chat people, he doesn't super chat. Let me tell you something. There are moderators, and I used to kind of wonder about this. Although it's their money, I wondered about it personally. Moderating for channels, and they never gave a super chat. I never came and called anybody out. That is their business. So why is it that it matters that Al doesn't super chat? Have you taken the inventory of everybody else? It's ridiculous to even bring it up, but I had to bring up the quote little joke I said at the beginning because I'm trying to explain to you, people don't want the truth. The truth isn't bad enough. It isn't juicy enough. Plain, simple truth is plain, simple truth. And that is what I'm giving you. How did this get started with Nikki? I'll tell you how it got started. She was a moderator in Binary Castaways live stream, the channel that he overhauled. He took down like 99% of the videos after these complaints were filed against him. She was a moderator in that live stream, and I started getting screenshots, her talking shit about me, her signing on to all the crap he was saying about me. She was over there during the Gorilla Bitch situation. She was a moderator there. That's how it all got started. Then, when Al was chiming in, giving his opinion about different things, making comments about Binary Castaway, she decides to start making comments about Al because I guess she thought he was going to be attacking me as well because he was challenged on Max V's platform as to his relationship. What are you talking about, relationship? You see what I'm saying? People are just, they don't understand. There are people who treat each other decent, who are respecting each other. What is so hard about that? Just because a man and a woman treats each other with respect, there's got to be some story behind it. I can't, people, what is wrong? Is that your life? That in order for you to have a relationship with a man, it absolutely must be something wicked and torrid and sexual and all this stuff? He refused to degrade and denigrate me. Isn't that a type of person you would like around on your platforms? Are you used to people degrading you? Are you used to men talking shit about you, that you're expecting a person to come up and start talking crap about me, although I've done nothing to this person? Yes, this is what some people are expecting, obviously. So when he refused to do that, then here they go after Al. It's so ridiculous. And she joins in. She was the one that was calling him all these names, a smug jackass. People didn't like it. See, they want you to think, I am the only person that does not like what she's doing. How am I controlling people who are bombarding me with screenshots? And I have more screenshots of stuff that she says that she probably doesn't even remember. She thinks those screenshots are gone because Binary Castaways channel is gone. Wrong. Nikki was the one that got this started. I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. What reason do we have to lie? I don't have any reason to lie. She is the person who initiated, and then she came over to the channel, AS channel, and tried to confront me about it. What is there to confront? You were the one who was caught red-handed talking trash about people who did nothing to you. I don't need that kind of stuff. I've done nothing to you. I've said nothing about you. Al said nothing about you, Nikki. You think you have a right to just have a flip out temper tantrum because he called you a hackademic in response to you calling him a jackass, a smug jackass, and other things. You dish it out, but you can't take it. Of course, it's a two-way street. But if someone is so disrespecting you, think about it, people. They're treating you like just, you hear how upset Nikki is about Al. If this is the extent to which she feels he is disrespecting her, then it's up to her to do something about it. And that means you need to detach yourself. Detach yourself from the situation. I am getting all of these, links, these screenshots, continuously bringing him up. He's not bringing you up. You are bringing him up. And the inequitable situation about what she's saying about, oh, he called me a hackademic. No, I am not saying a person doesn't have a right to determine what they feel is disrespectful. No. But this is compared to people being threatened with death, being threatened with rape and torture, their children being targeted for sex crimes, their spouses being targeted. On and on. This person, Nikki, wants to consider herself as being so mistreated by Al that she wants him run out of YouTube. Where was all the smoke for these people that were doing these things? A lot of them were done to Rev G. And Nikki, you were up in these people's live streams while it was going on. And you didn't stand up and say a damn thing. How dare you get on here and try to say Al should be kicked to the curb? Where was all your so-called smoke for all these people who did all these things to Rev G, who's very good to you? And this is what he gets. This is the payback he gets, or the thanks that he gets. You go to every single trash live stream there is in the so-called sector where they are dogging out Rev G. Forget me. He is supposed to be someone, you called him a friend, and you are saying nothing. But you're expecting the black men of the entire YouTube sector to come with cavalry in tow to defend you? On what grounds? You have a disagreement and a difference of opinion. Why don't you just go your separate way and stop talking about Al? You're not going to force him to do what you want him to do. You are not deserving of what you're asking for because you are engaging people in these demon live streams. And you were signing on to all this behavior that is plain demonic, straight up. Demonic behavior, targeting children. You think it's funny, this little stunt that was played on Al. You were right there. You're getting all into it. He's not following you around. You keep bringing him up. And you want everybody to come to your defense. You were the one that started this all. You can't take it. You can't dish it out. You can dish it out just fine with all your vulgarity and your curse words and it's just, no. You're in over your head. All of that hollering and screaming is not impressive. Nobody cares about all that. Most people who are mature are going to tune that out. Nobody cares about you screaming and hollering and cursing. You're only making yourself look like what? That you don't have control of the situation. It so bothers you so much, well, why don't you stop talking about Al? If I record a video on someone I know that doesn't respect me because people are, oh, I want you to talk about this. I record the video and then I'm done. I don't go running after the person into their live stream, trying to get a hold of the person, talk to the person. And let me sidetrack. There was a comment made. Someone had said, well, Conscious Energy had Anti-Afro Swingali's phone number. You know how many phone numbers I have? He has one of several phone numbers that I have. There are people that have all of my phone numbers. He has one phone number. So what? There's no riddle solved. He had live stream, drops the phone number, and you call the number. If I was so worried, I would block the number. I would say, you know what? I'm going to call you from a blocked number because I don't want you to have my number. I don't care. I've got several numbers. It doesn't make a difference. Conscious Energy was about theatrics, people. And if you want to go and believe what he says, along with the other person who's saying what the person is saying because the person needs to get a draw to the channel, you can believe it. It's not worth addressing. And here's a clue. If you have somebody attacking someone who's an anti-fraud warrior, you know right there they're not an anti-fraud warrior. They are an imposter simply trying to get traffic to their channel. That's it. Anti-fraud warriors don't go around waving a banner. We are very busy people. We do not look upon our role as building a brand or building a YouTube channel. It's so far beyond that. But if you don't want people talking about you, don't talk about the people. If you feel you are so important, what you have to do is important, do what you have to do. It's important, it's important. You can't force other people to consider it to be important. And when you can't get your way, you can't just kick somebody out of YouTube. You don't own YouTube. Where the hell? Who gets that kind of privilege? Who on YouTube gets that kind of privilege? As much as this person's name doesn't deserve any public mention, you were sitting up there with Carrie Ann, who accused Rev G of being a child molester. What the hell did you say about that? Nothing. You continue to share space with her and other people. And you're crying and whining, saying that Al is not respecting you because he called you a hackademic. You can't be serious. But obviously, you appear to be. You have things completely contorted. Completely contorted. And who wants to sit here and compare credentials? You know how lame that is? The whole situation is this. You want to appear as if you're better. You don't even believe that you're better. You wouldn't need to exert this amount of energy if you really thought you were better than Al or anybody else. You don't need to hoist your so-called credentials. You're acting like Umar Johnson is acting. What do you have to prove on a YouTube video about your credentials? Lots of people around here have credentials. Do you hear them getting up here bragging about them? We don't need to do that. Why would we need to do that? We don't have the same disposition that you have. You're coming to YouTube trying to get people to validate your level of importance. We already recognize our value. We see it every day. We just do what we do. We don't need to come to YouTube to get people to tell us it's great. That's what you're doing. And in the meantime, you're trying to just eradicate anybody that has any sort of opposition to you verbally. Get Al off YouTube? Well, I think Carrie Ann should be off YouTube. The person who is trashing black men that you're sitting up there with on these platforms, you're sitting up there with Carrie Ann. You can't get her to shut up about trashing black men, and you want these same black men to come and rescue you from Al? Al hasn't done anything to you. Hasn't done a damn thing to you. He doesn't agree with you. And you were the one who went and attacked him first. And for anyone out there, whatever your moral value system is about how you respond to people who support you, that's what you do. But Carrie Ann, let me tell you what Carrie Ann said in a video. She said it about abusive men in her family. I don't know if that has driven her disposition to try to tell other people that we can't defend black men. That's your problem, Carrie Ann. It has nothing to do with anybody else. Anybody, I don't care if it's a man or a woman, who has stood by me and supported me, I'm going to defend that person. I don't give a damn what anybody else says about it. And this is one of those times because Al would not denigrate me and call me bitch and whore and slut and cocksucker and all these things that you've heard people sexualize me and make all these disgusting come online like Dumpsy Spears does, talking about everybody's spouse sexually, as if any spouse would appreciate that. What spouse is going to appreciate somebody coming online talking about another person sexually? He does it to men and women. This is what you want to see Al doing. You would be elevating Al if he was engaging in the same behavior as Dumpsy was, if he was talking like Carrie Ann talks. You'd be, yay, bring Al around. We love Al. And by the way, Nikki mentioned Max V in one of those comments. I don't know if it actually appeared here. Max V's been begging Al to come back over there to that nasty ass, disgusting platform, that non-civil rights, that disrespecting of constitutional rights platform. Now, Nikki, you brag about you teach people and people with BS degrees are going to get BS degrees. Well, the most valuable lecture Al did was on free speech. He is lectured on free speech, which you don't have any respect for. You want to get on here and say whatever you want. You and whoever else you hang out with want to say whatever they want to say without any challenge. But as soon as people start sending us these screenshots and people want to respond, then you start trying to strip people or expect people to be stripped of their First Amendment rights. No, you don't have any such power. You have no authority to do that. I will get on here and say what I want to say. I don't need to tell Al. Al's going to say what the hell he wants to say. Everybody is going to get on here and speak just what they want to speak. They don't care if you don't like it. It's going to be incumbent upon you to have an attitude adjustment. That is not our responsibility. You go deal with the people you deal with and get that attitude adjusted, because you're not going to impose upon us what we can say. We reserve the right to say what we are going to say. And when I'm saying we are the people who continually are expected to relinquish our First Amendment rights, our constitutional rights, because somebody can't take the heat. You can't take the heat. Listen to all that screaming and cursing you got going on. Get another hobby. This is not working out well, because I tell you one damn thing, you're not going to shut Al up. Al was a reporter for 22 years. Do you know that First Amendment applies to freedom of the press? Do you know that reporters have special laws in place? It's called the Shield Law, that they do not have to give up their confidential sources. You think you're going to shut Al Lanier up? You were out of your league. You were misinformed. You didn't even realize what you were saying as you were speaking. I don't know whether or not it was a deliberate intent to mislead people, or that you're just ignorant of the fact when it comes to the academic world. You stated that an EDD is not a research degree. You were wrong. You stated that a Juris Doctorate is not a doctorate degree. You were wrong on both accounts. What difference does it make anyway? Nobody cares here. Nobody cares about your damn degrees. Nobody gives a shit about my degrees. I'm here as a respite. You can't force people to accept your credentials. If that's how you're going to go about life, no wonder you're so frustrated. You can't force anybody to accept your credentials. And you were absolutely incorrect saying that only people on your level can correct you or assess you or evaluate you. No, wrong. You have what is called student evaluations. You say you teach, right? After every class, the semester is over, or the quarter, whichever system you're on, someone else comes into that room where you leave the room. You're supposed to leave the room. And that person distributes student evaluations and collects those student evaluations. And those evaluations go to the dean's office, and however they snake up to the evaluating pool. And you are evaluated every single semester or quarter. So you have people who do not have degrees evaluating you. You're also incorrect on another account. You said in order to get a bachelor's degree, people have to go through you. Incorrect. there are professors at universities who have master's degrees and they are teaching. In one such field would be the arts. The MFA is a terminal degree. So if you go to a university, you're going to find a great number of professors who have a master's in fine arts, MFA. They are considered just the equivalent of a doctorate degree. So you're comparing your field to someone else's field. It doesn't make any sense, and you're making all these incorrect statements. So what you're saying is false. The department chair at Harvard University, and I will post his information, he has a Juris Doctorate degree. He doesn't have a Ph.D. You're going to try to tell me this person is beneath you because he doesn't have a Ph.D.? Well, where are your publications? Click on this man's publication record. I'll put the link on there. Look and see how many publications this department chair has, and he doesn't have a Ph.D. Where are your publications? We can't find any online. We Google Al's name, we see articles, we see interviews, but it's not really fair to do a linear comparison. You need a relative comparison. So it's more appropriate to compare you to that Harvard department chair, Harvard Law School department chair. Within the field, where are your publications? You want to sit here and judge people? Judge by your own standard of achievement. Are you tenured? That determines whether or not you're making it in your field, not comparing people here on YouTube. They don't have a degree and you do. That is lame. Nobody gives a damn about your damn PhD here in YouTube. It's off. The comparison is whack. Show your publications, and that way you can show what you have done. What about your research? What about your grant writing? What about your community services? All of the areas that you would be evaluated in. Are you tenure track? Has a university invested in you to take you under their wing to help you get on your way to tenure? Or are you simply a lecturer on the adjunct circuit? Who cares when it comes down to it? If you're making an honest living, you're making an honest living. But you're the one that's shoving this in everybody's face. So if you want to make the comparison, I know what it takes to make it in your field. I work at a university for 13 years as a grant writer, side by side by professors, assistant professors, associate professors, and full professors. I know very well what it takes to make it through the ranks. You keep insisting that you are an associate professor, but everything on the internet says assistant. If you made associate professor, then what would be the reason that you're keeping all your social media accounts assistant professor? I don't know any professor that would do that. And typically, in order to make associate professor, you would have had to publish. People aren't going to just give you associate professorship. Okay, you say you're associate professor, but there's no evidence online that shows that. You can say whatever you want. That just goes to show. But typically people who make claims about what they are, they're able to show it publicly. Yours says assistant professor. So how are you going to jump on people's case? By calling you assistant when that's all that's reflected online. So don't come on here comparing Al's degree in journalism, a bachelor's degree, to your PhD in English literature, I believe it is. Most journalists have a bachelor's degree, unless they're going into teaching. What is wrong with a bachelor's degree? You think you're better. No, you don't actually. You want other people to think you're better. You think that will help you feel that you're better because you don't think you're better. Don't put an emphasis on something that nobody gives a damn about, because you are up here using all these F words and you want to have all this respect bestowed upon you. As a PhD, you're not meeting the grade. And you saying to me, I think you said something to the effect, I don't know if it got in there or not, I'm not practicing what I preach. I'm practicing what I preach. Have you ever heard me say the F word on here? No, you haven't. Am I against the F word? No. There's some things I'm not going to do on YouTube. You're not going to be able to capture me like you were captured here in this video, saying these things. You can take whatever you want, and it's already been done. It's already been done when I had 2,200 videos up here trying to get me report me to whoever you want to report me to. I'm not doing what you're doing. You are besmirching your profession by trying to make it seem like somebody is less because they don't have a doctorate degree. You are sitting on these trash panels who you are associating with. Causes people to give two side eyes. Binary code, who is trashing the black race, and you decide to hang out with him. Hang out with whoever you want to hang out with. I don't give a damn. But you're not going to come on here and try to tell us what we can and can't say and who we should be speaking to. You don't run YouTube. You're not getting anyone up out of anywhere. You need to get yourself out of those trash panels. And if you want to be looked at with some decency and respect, you need to act like it. Listen to what you're saying. All these F words and MF words and all this. What the hell is that? Is that respectable? And you say that I am afraid of you? Why would I be afraid of you? Can you give me a reason? Give me a reason to be fearful of you. What are you yelling? That's not going to scare me. Screaming and hollering is not going to scare me. You got to give me another reason. I will give you the reason. You need to have, first off, contact with people in my family, and you need to have information about me that I don't want them to know. That's how you can, quote, scare me. Because you even said it. You said it. Everybody has things about themselves they don't want people to know. I am no exception. There are things I don't want relatives to know about me. You don't have that information, so how are you going to scare me? That's all you can do. Are you going to come out here and what? Try to run up on me? Is that what you're saying? That's not going to scare me either. I can assure you, I'm not afraid of you verbally. I'm not afraid of you physically. You do a lot of talking, screaming, and hollering. That's what your MO is. You don't strike any fear in me. None whatsoever. All that hollering and screaming. What you need to do, you say you're a missus. Why doesn't your husband help you build your confidence level to the point where you don't have to come on YouTube and scream at people? You wouldn't need to do that if you yourself had the so-called confidence and the self-respect that you're trying to convince everybody that you have. If you did, you don't need to come on YouTube screaming at everybody. You have a husband, right? You said Mrs. Or are you playing a Dempsey Spears? He's flashing the wedding ring around and nobody's ever heard one peep of a wife. And he's talking about all these other women sexually. You say you're a Mrs. Okay? Well, aren't you concerned about what your husband thinks of you? Isn't that the most important thing? What a man would think of you? Wouldn't it be your husband? Your boyfriend, your fiance, whatever. Isn't that how life generally works? Male relatives also. Those will be the imprint. But you're focused on Al. You are worried what Al thinks about you. I don't get that. You are the one that pursues him. He has a right to defend himself. Everyone has a right to free speech. He has not called you out of your name. A hackademic. Oh my gosh. The end of the world. Hackademic. And you think it's perfectly fine for binary code to call black women, call me a gorilla bitch. Now, I don't need you to defend me. I'm just talking about you're not calling for him to be canceled after he continually attacks the black race. I have to take his ass over to the school district as other people are. We'll handle that. We're not going to look to you, Nikki, to defend us, or certainly no one else here on YouTube. I'm not looking for that. I know where to go to get what I need. You are looking in the wrong place. You are lost. You are lost because you're on those trash panels. You are sitting outside of or standing outside dumpsters and you're mad because people are not walking up to you and telling you smell like a rose. They're walking up to you and they're turning their nose up. That is something you need to get together. Quit trying to blame people for your own issues, especially when you struck first. I never strike first. You were the one talking shit about me over in binary codes, live streams. Then you got pissed because Al wouldn't attack me, and then you went after him, and you continue to talk about Al on cue. You're being gassed up by someone who doesn't give a shit about you. On cue, this person told you to talk about Al, and you did, like a circus animal. And you're saying he called you a circus animal? Really? Well, you're acting on cue. Do you get metaphors? You say you're an English professor, And you decide to take certain things literally and other things you want us to take them figuratively. No, you can't control how we're going to think and how we're going to take things according to what you say. And I think it's disgraceful how you are on these attack panels, binary code, Dumpsy Spears, kissing their asses when they have just completely and totally disrespected Rev G and his family, not just his wife, his child as well. You are right there with those people in these trash panels. You're not just passing through. People just pass through and give a comment, oh, you so-and-so, you blankety blank. How can you do this? Or maybe there will be a positive exchange, but are they hanging out there? You're currying favor. You're looking for validation in trash panels on trash panels. And then you get upset because you say people are disrespecting you. You are disrespecting yourself. And we are not going to be paying attention to your temper tantrums. You are constantly throwing temper tantrums and using F-bombs. No one's going to take you seriously throwing F-bombs all over the place. Get it together, Nikki. Get it together. Actually, go where the hell you want. But I'm saying you're looking to find a way to get respect. Get off the trash panels. One more thing. Before we exit the scene, I'm going to give you buyer beware. But I'm also going to tell you not to touch that dial because there's a bonus.
As much as I love some of the men in my family, a lot of them do think that they're entitled to be abusive because they're not the bottom of the barrel Black man. And that it's a lot of Black women dying a slow death married to these selfish, narcissistic, weird acting ass niggas. And it's like, just because they got a couple of pennies to rub together. I mean, I don't like no broke nigga neither, but I ain't about to be competing for no mirror time with no man. I'm just not. Get out of my closet, sir. I'll wear the skirts. I'm the pretty one. Stop trying to dethrone me, you fucking weirdo.